answering one more question. Why did God create laws for us? Is that trying to put us into a frame and make us do some stuff and like being super dictatorship kind of thing, like you do this, if you don't do this, you're gonna be sent to hell? So here's an explanation for that question that came to me while I was over here pondering about these things. The best thing to do is to bring up an analogy. Think of a computer. If you guys ever opened up a computer or any television or any old electronic a device, even if it's a radio, you will see what they call a motherboard, right? There's a motherboard with a lot of little different colored things on there, and there's transistors, resistors, there's capacitors, there's the copper that's going to conduct electricity. There's a bunch of stuff in there all going on at once, and each particle has a function. So transistor amplifies electricity, resistor stops the flow of electricity, capacitor stores electricity, and so on. And they're all situated in a particular order. You have them in series, you have them in parallel, you have a mix of both, and so on. And the way the computer works is it sends out signals. It's either an on or off signal, which we call 1 and 0, right? Ones and zeros. You heard about how the computer works with ones and zeros. Those are the on and off signals that are being sent, and when it comes to a capacitor or resistor or transistor or anything else, it tells it what to do. And so when you give it a certain code, it tells the motherboard how to function. Alright? God created the world with exactly the same laws. Everything has a function in this world. And there's the law of gravity that we all know. That's like the flowing of electricity, you could say. And there's a lot of different laws that are impossible to not believe in. They're evident in themselves. The law of gravity, we see light, so light exists, and what does light do? It bounces off surfaces, bounces off on the back of our eyeball, and tells us the rods in our eye then go to the brain and tell us what we're seeing. So it helps us reflect colors and know our surroundings. And in the same exact way, God gave us moral laws on how we should function between each other and with our parents, with elders, with younger people, with everyone, and how we should function towards the outside surroundings and in of ourselves towards God. And this is like the software of the computer. You can have a computer, fully functional computer, but if you don't have software to run the computer, and software is like Windows XP, Windows Vista, Mac, or any iOS system. So all those, or Android, all those are software. So it's a written code. It's not material. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. It's information. And that information makes the computer do certain functions and work. We in our mind have the same exact conscience, it's called. That's our software. And we have the Word of God, the Bible, that tells us how to act in which situation. And it's for our own good. If we were to do everything according to the Bible, we would have perfect relationship. We would never have divorce. We would never have hate towards another person. We would never be prideful or boastful, except boasting of God for what He's doing in our lives and how great He is. And we would have the perfect life. That's like a perfect running software with no bugs whatsoever in the whole software, and the computer is running properly. Now when people try to rebel and say, hey, I'm gonna make my own software and make it work, and it goes against the whole nature of things, it goes against the motherboard, the way God designed it to be, then things start to fall apart in that person's life and in everybody else around them, and in his relationship with God. So laws aren't constraining orders that God gives us and then says, you go to hell. No, they're not constraining orders. They are simply the rules with which God designed the whole world and told us to follow. And guess what happens when the computer doesn't function? You throw it out, right? If it's not fixable, and God fixes people's hearts when Jesus Christ enters them and gives them a new nature, and the computer is back to work, and you can give it to a person and it'll be functional. But if that person or that computer rejects to be fixed, it's just so broken, you throw it out. And that's what Jesus is going to do. That's the punishment is hell, because God is just, and for every wrong act that we do, He throws us out of His presence, which is hell. So I hope that helps answer those of you who are wondering, why did God give us laws and stuff like that. And that's why. God bless you guys. Paul, bye-bye.